Okay, you better put on your 3D glasses, because it's coming at you. It is January 26th of 2021, and we are, again, recording a podcast. This is podcast 11 of Discussion of Your Last Three Brain Cells. Hello.
Oh, is that the intro?
Yeah, I was just wondering that same thing.
I just got excited. I've been thinking about it.
I was
Had a big car ride home. I jammed out a bunch. I got all this energy.
I was wondering where the 3D glasses part were. I was expecting like a special effect.
Oh no, I don't have that amount of technology. I just barely figured out how to record us. You think I'm gonna edit things into things?
Oh, whoops.
Team
I don't know.
Godzilla or Team Kong?
Team
That is
awful
a
movie.
big question to start with. I'm Team Godzilla.
I'm going Kong. He already ripped the jaw off one fucking dinosaur.
Are we going the new version where they're roughly the same size though? Are we going like canon? Because like canon, like Godzilla is way bigger than Kong is.
Well, that wouldn't make for an exciting movie now, would it?
But that's the point. Are we going like in the new one where they're roughly the same size? Also, did they make Kong bigger or Godzilla smaller?
Probably Kong. I bet they met in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like Godzilla in a lot of movies is just like dumb huge.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I go Godzilla all day.
So, how great would it be if they didn't change their like sizes? They charge full movie price, like movie ticket price for a movie, and then you go in. It's an hour of build up, and then they fight, and Godzilla just fucking eats Kong.
Yeah, like in one bite, just like bends over, just like bites him in half.
And then like the last 15 minutes of a movie, he just has like a giant chef's hat and apron, and has like a Gordon Ramsay accent, and is like doing all the knife stuff, and he like butchers Kong up, and then he makes like a nice steak and like some potatoes or something.
Makes a Kong Wellington.
Exactly. Although I don't think that backstrap would be very good because gorillas kind of stand upright, so it'd probably be pretty tense.
Yeah, this is true.
Think of the
I don't
boiled
know if there would be a good cut.
testicles.
Can you imagine how big Kong's testicles are?
The thing is, like, gorillas got big nuts but tiny peckers, so like they would be huge.
Like,
I mean,
Be like the size of a human head, at least.
oh, I was
they
thinking
have to be
bigger.
bigger than that, especially if it's
I was
fighting
thinking, like,
Godzilla.
So?
I was thinking like
Oh yeah, that's true.
the
You know.
nuts equivalent to like the height of me, like big.
Think that much?
Yeah, maybe. Why not?
That's like a full like 4'6", like 4'7" maybe.
No, if
That's a big
that,
nut.
maybe 4 or 5. If you
I
don't,
couldn't resist.
if you don't know, our friend Marcus is very short.
We have a.
That's your response to that is background noise.
Those are
We have a
ghosts.
Godzilla upstairs.
Is he eating King Kong's nuts?
I hope so.
I had a good question on the car ride in, or car ride I think today. It's been a long day.
Yeah.
What is a little moment that makes you feel like violently alive? Like just like little stuff in your day to day, or like stuff like oh, I worked this one job and whenever I did this, like it made you feel just like
Sex.
yeah.
Copious amounts of cocaine.
You guys are creative. Thank you so much for your input.
I am very tired.
I am too. I was just thinking, like, us in the car ride, and you ever get to that one song, and you know all the words for it, and you turn it up just loud enough that you can't hear yourself, and you just belt it, and then at the end, you're like, I sang that perfectly and made no mistakes.
The only song I know all the words to is Margaritaville. And I don't turn it on anymore because I just sing it.
That's fair. Just know it.
I know it
Down
by
into
heart.
your soul.
It is a song I know by heart.
Fair enough.
For all you parrot heads out there, you'll pick up on the reference that is in fact a name of one of Jimmy Buffett's albums. It was meta.
You're a fucking nerd.
I can't deny it.
What song was it?
What song was it?
Yeah.
What was it?
1 Week by the Bare Naked
I think
Ladies.
I sang. No, I think I sang an Alt J song. I think I sang In Cold Blood. But the thing with Alt J music is you like can't really sing along with it because half of it's either gibberish or it's such a thick accent that you can't actually understand it. So you just kind of make sounds with it. It's like if you ever sing along to like Scandinavian like Viking music, like they'll put words in there that aren't English, like, and it makes sense in the song, and like the word is still the right word.
Well, preferably.
But you don't know what it.
If it's Scandinavian, none of it's in English.
But you know what I mean, where you sing along, but you don't actually know the words. You just kind of know the noises.
Oh, so it's like.
But if you play it loud enough and you sing.
Oh, so it's like if you're listening to Rammstein and you don't know German, but you just go Du.
Yes.
Du hast. Okay.
Du hast Mensch.
Maybe.
Du hast Mensch, du
Exactly.
Franz.
Where you, like, you
Du
don't,
hast du zu Franz.
Oh,
That's about all.
you have no idea what it means, but you just jam out.
You must.
I did that and I was like, oh yeah, I'm fucking alive. That and another one I was thinking about is when you're trying to explain something to someone, and when you're at the beginning, you look at them and you just see like goldfish eyes, and they're just like looking at you, and they're just like lost. Like, dude, if you asked me to tie my own shoes right now, I'd be confused, kind of thing. And then by the end, they have that moment where you hear all the monkeys stop in their brain and all the gears click into place, and then they just get it. And they go from having like goldfish eyes to having confused eyes. And there's a split second of like, do I actually understand this? And then everything kicks and they light up. And that's amazing. I got to do that a lot tutoring. It was just, that's one of the best moments. That's just when you're explaining something and they just go, I just fucking get it now.
That's really funny because whenever you brought that up, I was thinking that how great it is to see someone that you've been working with a lot make actual improvements to what they've been working on with you.
Right. Or like they've been fucking up this one thing and then they don't. And it's just like, it's a fucking win.
At least it's not a loss.
Yeah. But just shit like that just makes me feel just violently alive.
What are you drinking there?
It is my birthday in approximately 2 hours and 14 minutes.
Well, I'm
And
sorry.
Katie and I made some apple pie.
Weird.
So I am enjoying a glass of apple pie on the rocks as we
Where's your ice cream?
close in. I've been kind of avoiding ice cream. I don't know. We don't have a lot of room in our fridge. We just have, like, right at the beginning of the pandemic, I got kind of preppered up, and I bought, like, a gallon of Everclear because I thought that gas was going to go bad or something.
Texas
So we just had this.
buys out
So
toilet
we had this-
paper in preparation for the pandemic. Wisconsin cleared the liquor store shelves.
Oh, it did, yeah. I literally bought a gallon of Everclear, and we were kind of been staring at it, being like, oh, what are we going to do with this? We're like, well, you can make apple pie with it. So we made like a gallon and a half apple pie, and we used 1/2 bottle.
That's pretty cool.
And it turned out damn good, too. It's amazing. Oh.
So, random historical fact to learn today that I know very surface level information about and not too much more and really haven't cared enough to dig into. Yes, it was through TikTok. But did you know that there was a bunch of disgruntled German World War I veterans who, after they got home from the war, formed these mercenary corps and basically went around and did private mercenary work for the German people, it's like the German Republic, and we're putting border security. Thank you. We're pulling things like border security and like guarding prisons and putting down insurrections and riots and stuff. And eventually they kind of like went away, but by went away I mean they kind of got grouped into the SA and SS of so-called Nazi fame. But before that, they basically a bunch of small independent militias that contracted to the German government, and one of their primary driving motivations was that they felt that Germany would have won had they not stopped fighting World War I. And yeah, I thought that was really interesting because I'd never heard of that, and that's actually where the SS got a lot of their death's head shit from, because their primary emblem was a white skull and crossbones, stylized skull and crossbones, kind of like the stuff you see on the SS shit, on a black background. And they were funded. They had armored cars and artillery, and
they were loaded up.
Yeah, man, they had all the shit Germany was getting rid of from World War I.
Marcus, here's a history question.
Okay.
What?
Go on.
Max, you might know too. What actually happened at the end of World War I? Did everyone just kind of get tired? Did the Nazis run out of resources? Did they run out of, not the Nazis? Did the Germans run out of resources?
I'm not super familiar with World War
I. Hold on. So, Max, what you were referring to?
Marcus is excited.
No, I don't. It's not. There's not really a solid answer I want to say, but I'll get into that in a second. So I wanted to come out and say that you were talking about the Freikorps.
Yep.
And you were. So that's what came to mind. I just wanted to make sure. First. So yeah, but as for the World War I thing, I'm sure it is long and complicated.
So it kind of started how it ended, or it ended how it started. Yeah. Where it's something happened and then everyone's mad.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But it was a lot of stuff from a lot of directions over 50 years or so.
Well, I know fucking Armistice Day, everything stopped. Everything actually, at least in Europe, everything stopped that day. There was no more fighting that day. Right. I'm not exactly sure how the wrap up went, because it was an armistice. No side was actually defeated. They kind of just penned it over, and then the Germans kind of got fucked by the Treaty of Versailles.
Oh, right. Oh God, yeah.
Which is my understanding of it. They got fucked. That was not a great deal.
Yeah.
It was. They got blamed for it, but there was no winner, no loser. World War I. They just kind of went, yeah, this has kind of been a lot. We're gonna kind of be done with this, kind of thing.
I think they were starting to lose, because I think one of the big issues was that Germany started to see that it was going to lose the war, and instead of face the prospect of World War I, total war on German soil, and completely fuck up Germany, they decided to succumb to the pressure of the Triple Entente and actually sign an armistice and maybe prevent infrastructure damage to their country that they just wouldn't be able to repair. But I don't know.
That's fair.
I'll need to look into it. I actually primarily look at World War II.
So, yeah, just like everyone else, and that's why I stopped paying attention to World War II stuff.
Hey, fuck you.
So, anyways, I knew beforehand that it took about a year after the U.S. declared war to get everyone over there and into Europe. So, the U.S. declared war on Germany on April 2nd, 1917. Obviously, they would have units there, and they had volunteer aviation people over there already. But it would take almost a year for the U.S. to raise enough forces and get everything into place for them to become I don't want to say combat effective, but to actually do anything substantial. So it wasn't until April of 1980
for the main ground force to be present and active.
Yeah, and then when's Veterans Day is that is November 12th, something like that.
November 11th, the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month.
Of the 17th year of the 20th century. Anyways.
That's such a coincidence. It's so cool that they did it like that. I bet that was a total accident.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, a complete flub. It was actually supposed to be at 10 o'clock.
10:58.
And there's the guy that was signing the treaty was late because he was busy celebrating the night before.
Oh, and the Germans were just absolutely pissed because they got there at 9
Right.
Yeah. That would be a German thing.
They're sitting there with their perfectly lined up paper, their pen to the right of it, just sitting there with their hands on their lap, fuming for an hour. And
They-
That was supposed to be here 2 hours ago.
the British,
they just come in swaggering drunk.
they smell like cigarettes and alcohol.
You know any good bars around? Hey, ho, ho. You know any good bars around here? I can't do French. Fuck!
No.
Just imagine whatever Max said, but extra douchey, because then that's his French accent.
Think of it as if Pepe Le Pew said it.
I don't really know. Whatever.
It was a French skunk, Marcus.
Oh.
And he loved a cat. It was a weird thing. It was a cartoon.
No, I don't want French.
I think what they did with the Looney Tunes was smart. Was just
Make him
like,
loony?
did you guys hear about that ever?
Nope.
No. So when they were kind of packaged them to put into a streaming service, instead of changing and cutting out the content, because it's from like early days of television, so there's a lot of kind of off-color shit that didn't age well.
There's a couple racist
So-
things.
Yeah. But instead of cutting that all out or like trying to edit and change it, they put a disclaimer on it like, hey, this is how this was back then when this was created. This is an important time in our culture, and this is kind of a historical thing at this point. So we're going to show them as they were.
Thank you.
So they cleaned them up, like they cleaned the footage up, but they didn't actually change any of the content.
I think they should remove the disclaimer and resume marketing it towards kids.
I love
ready
that.
for that.
I love that.
I need to toughen up. Fuck those little bastards. Don't actually fuck them. That's not good.
Yeah, you get in
Yeah.
trouble for that one.
And I'll find you, and we'll have fun. I'll fix it.
Jumping Jack Flash. It's a blast. Oh, I butchered that. Anyways, as a French person might say beforehand, "Allez
thought you were
la
Dutch.
maison des putes." I totally fucked that up.
Did you say pussy or poutine?
It's pute. Oh no, wait. There's something with the T's in French. They're silent.
The French definitely have fucking T's.
No, but the T's are silent.
What else would they?
No,
do
they're
with their
not.
trumpets?
The
The
T's,
T's
are
are not-
silent.
I took 2.5 years of fucking French. The T's aren't fucking silent.
Why the hell would you take 2.5 years of French? What the hell?
Because
Why
it's
didn't
easier
you
than
take
Spanish.
German? What? No, it's not.
They wouldn't let me take German. I tried 3
Why?
fucking times in junior high and high school to take German, and they would not let me take it. I swear to God, it's because they knew what I looked like.
I mean, you know what you look like. You can't act surprised.
No, I'm still pissed off about it. I will go in there and file their papers neatly and orderly, and then we will all march around the school.
Gustav. What? Like, so I'm kind of confused. Like,
Put it into Google Translate.
what?
Yeah, you can have it pronounce it.
You have the power of the fucking
Marcus figures
Okay.
internet or some shit.
Shush.
the
Shush.
entirety
Hold
of human knowledge at your fingertips.
Don't tell me to shush.
Okay.
on. I'm trying to listen to this.
Well, you're not doing a very good job of that if you're talking.
Allure à la maison des putes. Oh my god, that sounds awful. No more French.
I agree. Let's erase the language. Let's make them all speak English. But in a French accent.
French is just angsty Spanish.
It really is. Which is all just angsty Latin.
Yeah. I have foreign exchange student siblings that were Italian, or are. They still are. They're all doing great. They're alive.
Oh, they're not
I don't
German
know why I
yet?
said were there. They have not yet converted. But we went on vacation there, and I'm like, hey, Nico, should I learn Italian? So like, if we come and visit throughout the rest of my life, that we can like go places and do stuff, and it's easy to get around and talk. And he looked me right in the eyes and straight up was like, don't learn Italian. It's a stupid, terrible language.
Can't be worse than English.
No, because so in English, when there's a dialect, so like think of like the accent. Like we can understand someone with the Boston accent. Like it might be rough.
I
And
mean,
we might have to be like, dude,
Glaswegian.
like, but it's
Go on.
but it's the same language. Fundamentally, we spell words the same. Like if you write it out, it might look dumb, but you can understand them in a rough form.
have you
With Italian,
heard Scottish?
it's been doing that, but like within America itself.
yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. Other than like Creole, which is like half French.
Yeah.
But within Italy, it's all been doing that for so long, and all the populations are so discrete that it's like there's like 30 different versions of Italian. So like if you learn Italian like out of the book, it's only useful in like 3 places because they have entirely separate languages throughout the country.
Well, in fairness, I feel like if you actually learned English as a second language and you weren't to the level of like a native fluent speaker,
Oh yeah,
you would
it'd be
have
mangled to look-
hella fucking hard times in England.
Oh, yeah.
Because like there's a lot of those areas like within like 50 miles or 100 miles of England, there's like 25 different dialects
Yes.
or something. It has like
I
the
didn't realize there was so
most
many.
number of dialects for a small geographical area of any language in the world.
So I was.
Sounds like a terrible place. It should slide into the ocean.
Ooh, no.
Sounds like it
please
should leave
don't.
Europe.
No, but I mean they're trying. Anyways, so I just watched a video on accents, and they were like talking about like how over time, obviously, accents kind of become their own thing or whatever, and like England is like a really good example of how. I mean, like obviously, not everyone from a certain city speaks with a certain way, but like if, like generalization. Where is this going? But England is, very notable for that. Wow, I just said what you said. Never mind.
Words do good.
Yeah.
You know how
Man,
earlier
it's late at night.
you had like a Jimmy Neutron brain blast whenever you're going to talk about something?
Mhm.
Where'd that go?
I don't know. See, like, I used it all up, so now I'm just going to be a dumbass for the rest of the day.
You're too excited. Just gotta relax, man.
Yeah.
Max, did you listen to our podcast last week at all?
I
With
didn't.
just the two of us chatting?
I did not. I've
Okay,
been meaning
see what
to.
it is.
I forgot.
That's
I
okay.
have
Totally
been
fair.
very
It was-
busy.
Yeah. Yeah, you're good. It was just so relaxed. Like, I got done and I was like, oh, this was like reading a book. It was so calm.
Mhm.
Well,
Gonna fall asleep in my chair.
I'm very
was
glad
just nice.
to know that I am the energy in your guys' life.
It's a good way to take that.
I am talking to me is like if you put your hands on the opposite terminals of a car battery. And that is what I strive for.
That's the goal.
Yes.
Oh yeah. It was fun. It was interesting to do it just two. Like the dynamic really changes when you have 2 versus 3. I didn't think it was gonna change that much, but it was a pretty drastic difference.
It does in a
Yeah.
UFC fight too.
Yes, it does. Speaking of that, freaking Conor McGregor got knocked out.
Yeah. Know a lot of people who lost a lot of money on that fight.
Oh yeah.
It was disappointing.
Dustin, not a fan of that one. I really like Dustin Poirier. He's really come a long way.
No, it
Just
just
grown into it like an entirely new fighter.
the outcome was disappointing. I don't like seeing Conor
Right,
McGregor
you do
lose.
like Conor.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
But did you see? He looks like he's done. I don't know what he said. I know he came out with like a press release or something. But did you see the fucking look in his eyes whenever he was on the fence? Because he never went fully out. Like he got hit on the butt and he went out for like 2 seconds. So like he knew the entire time. He's like, oh fuck. And then he gets on the ground. You can just see it. And it's like, God fucking damn it! I'm too old for this.
Yeah.
That was the
He's the
exact
same
look in
age.
his eyes.
Oh. He's like the same age as Khabib, isn't he? They're
He's the
both like
same age as
32.
Poirier.
He's not that old.
He's
yeah.
32.
I mean, it's not like you're an NFL
But it's
running
one of those
back.
things it's
But yeah,
where your shelf life is 1 year.
yeah.
No, but I can only imagine getting knocked out more than once in the UFC. Probably sucks.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, I think that's the first time he's been knocked out because he got choked out
Oh, that's right.
twice now. Diaz and Habib.
Yeah, fuck Diaz.
I don't know if he necessarily got choked out. He just got his head squozed by Khabib. Because, like, if you look at that, he wasn't actually on his neck at all. It was like a chin crank.
That fight.
Like, he just grabbed his head and just squozed him.
That fight was a long time ago, and I was very drunk
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'd
I
have to check
remember
the
that.
I
record.
think he's been...
to make
I think
sure
that's
it
his
was
first
legal for
time
me to
getting
drink
knocked out.
whenever that fight was around.
I blacked out that night.
Yeah.
So did a lot of people.
There's an entire country that tried.
Ireland doesn't try. They're always blacked out.
This is true. They're doers over there.
Yes, they're probably one of the few places on the face of the planet that could legitimately give Wisconsin a run for a number of alcoholics.
Czech Republic.
There's no
Apparently.
try. There's only puking into sewer grates.
There is no
Oh.
try. There's only doing or drunk.
This is great. So, this reminded me of
Is it?
a book I had to read. What the fuck?
Just one?
It's called
That's a good name.
Angela's Ashes. And it's
Angela's
like a
Asshole?
tribute- Yeah, it's about an Irish immigrant. Like he was like born in the U.S. and his family emigrated back to back to Ireland because they're originally from Ireland. And this is like between World War I and World War II, and it's just like after like the Republic of Ireland is formed, but it's still like a wishy-washy state. And his dad is a aggressively drunk person where they spend all the
You
money,
could just say
like literally
aggressively Irish.
aggressively Irish. They spend all his earnings go straight to the pint, and it was just like I'm reading about this. I'm like, wow, this is depressing. And then like he's on the dole, which is like a welfare
A pineapple
system.
company?
Yes, the fruit company. And then like all the dole money goes there, and then they're like in order to like keep warm, they're like taking parts of the house down and like throwing it in the fire. But yeah, just made me think of that.
What's the
for
name of the
reason.
book?
Angela's Ashes.
Can you imagine how bad of a book name that'd be for a Holocaust survivor?
That's a rough one.
Devin. is
Get your
reading
attention,
something-
though.
Devin's reading
That's
about.
a little on the nose.
Yeah, Devin is reading about reading a book called The Auschwitz Tattooist or something like that. I'm like, yeah, what does he do? Like specialize in some sick numbers? Or like, what's the book about?
I bet he got real good at numbers, though.
Yeah.
There's a bad joke there that I don't want to say to be made about he's never had the opportunity to finish a full sleeve.
Yeah. Okay.
That one feels dirty. I don't want to say that one,
It
but
took me a sec. I'm like, what? Yeah. He
know
doesn't,
something
he doesn't
that-
have a portfolio. It just all gets washed away. Up in smoke.
it's 10 pages long. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0.
I wonder how many times he's rapped around the world. So you know one thing I actually cannot believe in this day and age is that people deny the Holocaust. I had someone say...
People deny all sorts of shit.
Yeah, but like, I had someone say, well, really, how many fucking concentration camps were there actually? And
There's
it's
a
like
lot.
thousands.
Well,
And that's
what's
like
the define-
completely ignoring the people that just got shot in a fucking ditch. Or the towns that just got like fucking bulldozed.
It just ceased to exist.
Yeah.
Reading, if you ever get the chance, like I had to do it through a textbook or whatever, but it was like firsthand documents of like the Holocaust or whatever, and a lot of it's like officials and like army officers and stuff like that, but just like the way they type out like what their plans are, like what the outcomes were. It's just like it's kind of like I don't want to say mind up. What's the word? It's just like jaw
German?
dropping. Just yeah. Well, obviously it's
Very
translated from German.
procedural.
Yeah, very procedural.
That's what's weird about it for
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
And like, obviously, that's the best way to go about systematically killing people. Is just create a procedure, write it down. But
Think
it's
about
just
the human aspect of the person writing that, though. Because there's a very good chance that the person that was actually responsible for typing up that piece of paper and the formatting and the actual putting that into, like, official, like, government type and government speak probably wasn't on board with wiping out 6 million people in an assembly line systematic process.
no. But you do what you have to do to live and like
No,
provide for your family and
obviously,
yourself. So yeah,
I
yeah.
understand that, but I mean, I would like to point out specifically concerning this case that the Nuremberg trials did determine that I was just following orders is not legal defense for following an illegal, immoral law or order.
Yeah.
And that we have one of our Dakota Meyer. The reason he has Medal of Honor is because he disobeyed an unlawful order.
What?
So like that
So-
is not a prompt legal defense. I understand that human beings will always do what is necessary to survive, and immediate survival is always much more pressing than future survival. But just think about like I'm trying to get at it as like the toll that writing about something like that would take. You would almost have to put it in a way like that because whenever you start talking about things in a very systematic process, like you're talking about an assembly line or something, it is much easier to disassociate what you were talking about instead of actually realizing, hey, I am talking about fucking gassing 1,000 people an hour.
It doesn't stick to your soul
Yeah, you can.
as much.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a level of
It
separation.
still does, but it
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There was a really interesting interview with the last Nuremberg prosecutor.
I thought you were going to say
And he was-
prostitute, and I was like,
Oh no, prosecutor. So it was this guy, and I don't remember his name. Forgive me. I'm not going to look it up because I don't want the background noise. But he was like if he was 5 feet tall, he was tall. He was like 5'1", little Jewish guy. He wanted to join the military right away. They're like, you're like 5 feet tall, and he went fine. So he went and he got his law degree, but he also had some degree in linguistics, so he spoke like German and Hebrew and a couple other languages. So eventually he worked his way into the army as a translator and like kind of an interpreter, like help people get around. Ended up working his way around with a couple different groups, and eventually ended up he was helping with some of the Nuremberg trials because of both his experience on the front line and his law background. And he ended up being the youngest prosecutor because he stumbled into this group. It was like 30 guys or so, and they had killed over 100,000 people or some obnoxious number, and it was all recorded. It was all just in the paper. Like he walked up to the judging panel and was like, "These are the documents. There's all these names on it." And then he walked over to the guy and went, "Are you this person?" And the guy was like, "Yep." "Are you this officer?" The guy was like, "Yep." "Did you fill out these reports?" And he said, "Yes." And he was like, but he was the youngest prosecutor, and he's still alive as of a couple of years ago. He did a 60 Minutes interview. It was super good.
oh, wow.
Yeah.
He's old as fuck.
Yeah. But he's just this tiny little Jewish guy, like 5'2" tops. He gave a really cool interview.
Like, he's got to be 100 years old.
At least. But he was like the youngest prosecutor, and he was like 23 or 24. Because he was telling the story, and he's like, and he found it, and he brought it to his prosecutor that he was working under, and it was like, we have to do this. Like, we have a moral obligation to bring justice to this situation. And his supervisor was like, "We're too busy. The only way we can do this is if you do it yourself." And he went, "Okay, I'll do it myself." And then he did it, and he was like, yeah, he was less than 25 when he was the youngest prosecutor at the Nuremberg trials. It was very interesting.
Feels like I've wasted 20
Highly
years.
recommend it. Yeah. To be fair, a law degree back then took about like 8 months, but it's
What?
grown a little bit. Just
Really?
I think about that a lot with like degrees in like history and biology and everything. Like the amount of information in a 4-year degree has grown by so much.
The amount of
So-
useless information also has. You could take
Oh,
most of
yeah.
these 4-year degrees, spend all 4 years actually learning stuff that's relevant to your major.
But like if I looked at a biochemistry degree from like 1940
Oh, yeah.
and a biochemistry from like 2020, the biochemistry degree from 2020 has exponentially more even useful tangible information compared to the 1940, just because the science has come so far.
I would say mine
Okay.
hasn't.
I agree that not
I would say, yeah.
political science is barely a science.
I
So-
imagine there's
You ever
always
seen
been
that interview with John Kerry?
useless bullshit that they've made you read.
You say that like I know how to read.
All right.
Yeah, audible.
So
Go ahead, Marcus.
I know. Okay, so I know at least with like liberal arts programs and stuff like that. I mean, like to a degree, I would say things have changed. Probably like the amount of time you have to put in for certain degrees have changed and like expanded or whatever. But like I know like the very basis of like liberal arts degrees, like history and like things like that, haven't changed like a whole lot. Like the structure, I should say, because like they date back to like the 1300s, with like the beginning of like universities and stuff like that, and like the term bachelor's comes from like some Latin term, which is like the beginning of a journey of like studying and researching and stuff like that, and like they didn't have like a doctorate thing, but it was something like that, and then they had a master's, like a equivalent of a master's program, where it was like more of your study or like selected study, but it wasn't like, you know what I mean? Like it was there, but it wasn't. At least with like some degrees, obviously biochemistry is probably.
There was some equivalent to it.
Yeah, I mean, like I would say, obviously, like a lot of the sciences are probably a lot different than like what they would have been considered even like 50 or 100 years ago. But like
Probably
some
25
of the
years
structures,
ago.
yeah, 25 years ago.
Yeah.
But like I would like what I'm just trying to say is like the structure is still kind of there for like some
the actual
some
schooling.
things. Yeah.
That's interesting.
I bet they still had to read a bunch of random shit and probably have to buy the professor's book 60 years ago.
Oh, probably.
I think that's the point of a liberal education, though.
I think
like,
that's
is
the
that
point of
you're supposed
professors.
to explore a little bit.
They write books.
Yeah.
I do research and stuff.
If I could, I would buy one of my professor's books, but it's like $200 online, and I'm like, yeah, no, I don't. I love you, but like, no, I'm not paying $200 for a book you wrote.
So when you steal it.
I don't know.
I'm sure
I
he has
could,
an
like-
extra.
Oh, it's a one.
Technically, if you steal someone's and they have to buy and they have to go buy another, you're still helping him because you're still getting him another sale.
I guess. But anyways, so I know how
What? No?
Yeah. Yeah, if that person that you stole the book from doesn't have the book and now has to go buy another copy of that book.
I'm sure they could just find
But they already had a copy, so they had to pay twice as much for the same information once. The equivalent.
But now
They
they
just
don't
want it
have
on the
that
wall.
information.
They probably do. It's on their computer. But like, if they want like an ornament or like decoration of saying like, "Look what I did, look at me," then yeah, they would have to go buy another one.
Do we want to do the first book? Oh,
Okay, so I have like one more thing.
speaking of books, you do it.
Okay, so I know how we talked about Frankenstein and how like it was like apparently for your dad it was just like a slugfest. Well, one of the professors of
Until the end.
until the end. One of the
He
professors
said it was terrible till the
Okay.
end.
One of the professors at Point is making his like students. It's a history class. It's history 312 apparently, and it's called Biology as an Ideology, and that's like a supplemental book for that class. And like it's a lot of like Darwin stuff, and like social Darwinism and like eugenics and stuff like that.
All right, now I'm
I just
interested.
like went into the bookstore because I wanted. Yeah, I went to the bookstore just to see like what they all had for classes and like if there were any books like what would be interesting if I potentially wanted to read them. And I saw that like all these like Darwin stuff, like Darwinian writings and stuff like that, and then they had Frankenstein, and I just thought that was kind of funny. It made me think of your dad.
Hmm.
Who's still waiting for another book report?
Oh yeah,
I'm glad the thoughts. He is.
From you, Marcus.
But this time on Bigfoot erotica.
Bigfoot erotica.
Or
Yeah,
pterodactyl.
Hey, have we pterodactyl porn stuff? Speaking of which, do we even have any comments on that? Let's see, I'm gonna pull that up.
I don't know if we
No,
had any
people
comments,
don't care about us.
but we should do the
No, that's okay.
the first rendition of the book club where we all read the same book though, because we have
Yes,
a
we
PDF
do.
of that one,
Hmm.
so we can all read the same book, and it's a short
Is
book.
it a
so we have no
streetcar called
excuse.
Desire?
Yeah.
No, it's the Phantom Tollbooth
That's
by
close.
Norton Juster. There's a very good PDF of it out there. It is literally it's a children's book. I think it's like a 6th grade
I'm
reading
fucked.
level. It's got pictures. Main character's name is Milo. It's one of my favorite books. Last time I read it, I sat down, I read it on my phone, and I think like 4 hours. It's a hoot. It's super fun. It's all wordplay.
Like a
So
Sudoku?
we're gonna try and all read it. Worse, but it's super clever. So there's a lot of people that when you are like authors of children's book, like Suzanne Collins, the person who wrote like the Hunger Games, she met
You mean
Norton
Modern
Juster,
America
and
history?
like that's one of her like found. She met one of her like she met Norton Juster, and that's one of her like formative moments as a writer. Like Norton Juster had a really impactful career on a lot of people, and that was kind of his big book was this Phantom Tollbooth. So I highly recommend it. It's one of my favorite books. So we're gonna try and read it as a group. There's a great PDF of it out online. I'll try and comment the title of it. I don't know if I can comment the PDF officially, but we'll do our best in the description below. So keep an eye out for that. We're gonna try and I'll read it and then discuss it. It's a super fun book. It's super
Yeah.
short, so
I'm excited.
we're excited.
Mar-
It'll break up the monotony of reading all of the 18 terrible political theory books that you two told me to read. They're in. I haven't touched them yet. I'm still working on 1984,
That's
which is
fair.
also fun.
How is that?
It's good. It's what's weird about this book is the 2 books I read before were little tiny books and had little tiny font.
Hmm.
So I'd read for like say 10 minutes and I'd read maybe like 2 pages. And then this one's got giant font, so I read for 10 minutes and I read like 8 pages. It's very fun. But it's super good. Like I thought it was going to be much more of a slugfest, but it's really entertaining.
Well, that's cool. Do we want to
Yeah.
maybe think about wrapping this up?
I like
I'm really fucking
I like
tired.
books with big fonts.
Did you say like
Okay.
books with pictures, Marcus?
With big words. But like, so I have just purchased almost all of the Magic Treehouse books. I have 1 through 28 of the original ones, and then I have 1 through 27 for the Merlin Mission ones.
This is
So I still need like the
brand new information to me.
yeah. So I'll send you a picture later on, like after this. So I have like, I have to get the
How much did you pay for that?
$120 in total because they were both like half off. And I'm like, I gotta do this, man, because normally they're like $100 each, and I got both of them for like 60 something. So it's just like okay, whatever. But I still have to get the 200-page one on D-Day, and then I still have to get. There's like 4 or 5 more. There's 5 more smaller ones or shorter ones, and then there's another one I think coming out in 2 months. So I still have to buy those. I'm not gonna worry about like the like companion like non-facts or like non-fictional companion guidebooks because that's even more money. But yeah, I have almost
Why?
all of them now. A box set or 2 box sets.
Yeah.
Why? Because I really like them. Like when I was a kid, like I really enjoyed reading them, and I read a couple over like lunch break. It would take me like 45
Oh,
minutes to read one, and yeah, it was just like a quick read, and I liked them. I thought of a couple ideas for like a book, like books with The coworker. The best one we had was bombings in Belfast, where they join, they just like run into like the provisional IRA and like they actively like bomb
That would be
people.
that would be
So,
a Magic Tree
why
House and a
not?
half. I didn't know you liked those so much. That's super entertaining.
Blowing up cars.
Shooting slingshots at people. It's like, oh, this is how we do things.
I thought it was amusing, but yeah.
My camera timed out. Where did Max go?
I don't know where he's at.
You said he was dead tired, but you'd think he'd turn his like video off first. Is there anything? Who
Maybe
knows?
he did die.
Is there anything you actively want to talk about next week?
Not really. I'm trying to think of something like something cool. I was looking into like Victorian era houses, or like even like the Bedlam Asylum, for like shits and giggles. But I don't know. I think I was trying to link like Victorian houses to like spooky or haunted houses.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I wanted to do something with like Victorian houses because I love them. I think they're amazing. And if I had like $500,000 in the central Wisconsin region, I would definitely buy one. And like, I would be torn to either like make it like a modern representation of a house, or if I could like go back and like give it that nostalgia feeling of like what it would be. I mean, like with a
Right.
couple exceptions. I mean, like you would have like modern appliances, but like have like the
That
decor
traditional Victorian.
similar, and just have a weird, yeah, like a traditional Victorian look with like a twist. So obviously like modern appliances, and of course like I would have a TV in like
Right.
a room, but like
That'd be
for the
fun.
most part, you know.
We should look in. I'm gonna let Max
Yeah.
get his headphones in. Talking about topics for next week, we should look into the end of World War One, like what was kind of leading up to that.
Sure.
Just
That
because
would be a
I'm
good
just
one.
curious now, I feel like we could just be like, yeah, and it was kind of what we thought about last week, where everyone just kind of got tired and went home.
Isn't there a movie about that? 1917?
Did you see that one?
Oh yeah.
No.
Oh yeah, it's not about that at all. It's super good,
What?
but it's not about the end at all. It's super good. Highly recommend it.
I'll pretend it is.
Fair enough.
You haven't seen 1917?
Have you seen my butt?
Yes.
Yeah, I have. Pretty sure. Pretty sure.
And on that note, I think we're gonna wrap it up.
You'd like that.
If
Remember, unlike, unsubscribe, leave a nasty comment.
But yeah, thank you so much for listening. We hope everyone has a good night.
Also,
It's late here and where Max is
Yeah.
at, Alaska. So we'll see you everyone next week. We
Yeah.
hope everyone has a great time. If you think of anything, like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you on the flip flop, nerds.
Bye.